Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of ILD Real Talk. Today we have 4 members from ILD here with us, and the similarities between all of them is that they have recently bought their first private property and they have all bought into Canninghill Piers. So we are here to hear and learn from them how was their property hunting journey like, and what was their criteria for the condo purchase, and what makes Canninghill Pier their investment of choice. Okay, so we have here with us TJ.
Hi everyone.
Beth.
Hi.
May.
Hello.
And Stan.
Hi everyone.
Okay, and the first question I have for you guys today is, how was your property hunting journey like, and how long did it take you?
So anyway, I'll start first. So before I give an answer to that, I'd just like to give a little bit of introduction of myself.
Yes.
So previously, I actually came from the banking industry. So back in the bank, of course, it was just, numbers, investments. So it didn't occur to me, to actually invest in a property back then. So moving forward, I actually entered into the real estate industry, right?
So when actually did you enter the real estate industry?
A couple of months ago.
Oh, that's very recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I entered into the real estate industry, I had a really, really good insight and about the whole property market, right? So that is why I actually decided to invest in a property, not only for diversification purposes, but also for a roof over my head in the future, right? Yeah. My advice out there to consumers is to invest in one as early as you can if you actually really do your market research carefully and properly.
That's great advice. As they say, don't wait to buy, but you buy to wait.
Yeah, that's right.
Hi everyone. I'm TJ's younger brother in the industry, but in real life, I'm actually his older brother.
Yes, we have a pair of brothers here with us today.
My real estate journey started in Australia, so I had a good experience of investing in a few properties and making profits out of it. So recently I liquidated my asset in Australia, and so there was a need to find another property to put my money into. It was a matter of between reinvesting back in Australia or buying in Singapore. The decision was ultimately to purchase in Singapore because there is no capital gains tax in Singapore. So for the property that I recently sold, I incurred more than 40% of capital gains tax there.
Oh, so, wow, that's really steep.
In terms of investment, I feel like Singapore offers better opportunities as well. And so the whole question would be, what property do I buy and where do I buy? And before I chose Canninghill Piers, I actually did scout around at a few projects. But I felt like Canninghill Piers, in terms of timeline and investment needs, is best suited for me.
So in all, actually, how many months did it take you?
It took me about 2 months, so it was not that long. Yeah. So
That's
from the
really
moment
fast.
I sold my house, I started looking. Yep.
So the time was also right for you, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did consider a few projects, for example, like Avenue South. But the timeline just doesn't match in terms of the cash flow and the settlement money and everything coming the funds that I need to transfer from Australia to Singapore. So Canninghill Piers is something that basically everything falls nicely in place.
Yes. So sometimes when we are buying a property, timeline is also very important, and being able to buy in at our timeline is something that buyers are also looking for in the market. So what about me?
So for me, right, comparing with Beth and also Stanley, mine actually took longer than them. Okay, so for me, I think close to 2 years. Me and my husband, we started looking for a private condo since early last year. Yeah. So, but we do not know what should we look out for. So it has dragged for quite some time. Yeah. And then after I joined the industry, that's when I get more insight about properties, what are the cons and pros between resale and also new launch. And because it's for our investment purpose, so we decided to go for new launch. We went to a lot of show flats, but we couldn't really find one that fits all our needs. Our requirements. So, and when we saw this Canninghill Piers, I think this is really a great project. Yeah, though that's why we decided to invest in this one.
I see.
Yeah.
Did you feel any anxiety seeing that the property prices really shot up a lot in last year and this year?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we didn't really expect. Yeah, so we think that it's best to invest as soon as possible when we are still young. Yeah.
Did you actually feel that at the start you saw some properties and actually because you were, in the end it took a while that you missed some opportunities? Had you taken the plunge, or you have no regrets taking 2 years to find?
I think no regrets lah, because I think this one really fits all our requirements, which I'll be
So
sharing
you are very
later.
happy lah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We will hear your answers in a bit.
Okay.
So how about TJ?
Well, my entire journey, I think it really started back in 2018, 3 years ago. That was when I first joined the real estate industry.
Wow, so actually your journey is even longer than May's, is it?
A bit. It's not
Yeah.
a competition, but...
Okay.
Okay, so I think when I joined in 18, I spoke to my good friend Ivan and my mentor as well. All right,
Shout out to
really plan, in terms of business growth and personal growth as well. What should we aim for? Right. So when I first joined back in 18, that was actually where I set my goal to purchase my first property within the first 3 years of my career. Yeah. So. That was the planning phase. Subsequently, of course, we need to have the funds ready as well. Right, so coming into the industry, that took me some time to build my funds. Right, so eventually at my third year now, the funds are ready. I actually started looking around 1.5 years ago, where my funds was already in place. Yep. So this is, in a nutshell, my journey. Yep.
So did you also like me go and visit a lot of show flats?
I did. I think all in all, resale and new homes, I think I visited over at least 30 different projects.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So you must really be the expert now. All of you are actually experts in what makes a good buy in the market. So the second question that we have for today is, what do you think are the factors that makes a good condo development to invest in, whether it's for own stay or investment?
So, of course, one of the most important factors is the locality of the condo project, right? The adage location is still king, right? And will continue, and I believe will continue to still be the most important factor in determining, the future demand of the property lah, yeah. So. With that being said, apart from the location, the surrounding amenities of the project is also important, because I believe it actually determines the future valuation of the property as well.
So May, what do you think are your factors that make a good condo development for purchase?
Actually, it's quite similar to Bev. Whether is it your own stay or investment, I think location is the most important factor. Whether it provide any convenience to the residents, like whether taking public transport, it must be near the MRT, and then if you're driving, then it must be near the highway, but of course not too near, otherwise it'll be very noisy. Yeah. So another thing will be the amenities around the area. Thirdly will be the developers, because it determines the quality of the finishing and the product.
That's true. A lot of buyers in the market also care about who the developers are for the condo.
For me, when looking for investment property, I think at our age, what we need to look for...
Wait, what's your age?
I think it's we have to keep it a secret for now. Yeah. I think for our age, when we look for investment property, one of the things that we have to consider is potential capital appreciation, because we still have many opportunities to experience the property cycle. So having a property with good potential upside is important. It gives us the flexibility in the future if we need to upgrade. It gives us more flexibility, and so because of the nature of our job, income can be very irregular. So having a strong rental yield gives us a peace of mind when it comes to having to worry about the mortgage repayment. So it can allow us to better focus on what we have to do rather than focus on when is the next mortgage repayment coming up.
That's right. So basically, as a investor or a future landlord, you want the assurance that your purchase and your investment will secure a good rental tenant and we call it rental yield for your unit. Yeah, good ROI for your investment.
Yeah, so actually, just adding on to the both of them, right? I feel that whether it's for own stay or for investment, it actually weighs quite heavily on the time horizon, or actually the personal circumstances of the consumer. So when we decide to actually purchase in an investment property, is of course investing in a property that we believe will generate a high rental yield. Yeah, and of course there should always be an exit strategy in play when we actually invest in a investment property lah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, because in terms, of course, there are so many new launches around in Singapore, right? Of course, in this year alone, when we invest into a investment property, right? It should definitely, we hope to generate high income or high rental income in the future lah. Yeah.
Yes.
And in terms of the exit strategy that we were talking about, right? It should have great demand in terms of whether we want to sell it in the future or not.
Yeah, so it really boils down to the personal preference and the objectives of the individual when it comes down to your
I
own.
mean, of course, at the end of the day, when it comes to looking at property, a lot of people look at the leasehold part and the freehold part as well, right? But when it boils down to investing, like maybe some of us in terms of purely investment, right? Whether it's leasehold or freehold for a condo project, right? When it comes to rental, people who are renting a place doesn't care whether it's a leasehold or
tenants, they don't look at whether it's leasehold or freehold.
Yeah, of course they look in terms of the location and all that, which we will talk about in shortly.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, first and foremost, location is very important in making a good property purchase, because we're buying real estate. All right. We're really buying a physical product. Okay. A few other factors that I consider for my investment purchase as well, on what I look out for in terms of a property. First factor, I think the price premium between the project that I'm purchasing and how our other projects in the entire district are performing as well. I wouldn't want the gap to be too wide apart, right? In other words, if it's too wide apart, like the project that I'm buying might be a little overpriced for that district. Yeah, so this is one thing that I look out for. Secondly, I look at desirability as well. All right, not just in terms of from tenants, but subsequently when I want to exit my property, who will be buying from me? All right, I want to know the type of profile of buyers that might be purchasing from me in time to come. All right, so desirability. And thirdly, I always like to look at the Singapore crystal ball. All right, not sure whether you know of that, Anna. There's a crystal ball.
Let me make a guess. It's the map.
URA master plan, right? So that is our little crystal ball in Singapore. All right.
That's right.
Not just what amenities we have around us presently, all right, but what amenities, what future infrastructures are coming up in the entire estate and district.
Definitely.
In time to come. So I think that will really determine like when is the right time for you to exit. Yep. So these are some factors that I considered for my purchase.
So one more question for you guys. So you guys have already answered what makes a good condo development. So now maybe y'all can share your personal reasons on what makes Canninghill Piers your investment of choice.
For me, maybe because I want to be TJ's neighbor. No, just kidding. Okay. So maybe for me, right, I feel that every development or new launch has its own perks.
Yep.
And why I actually invested into CHP is, of course, for its number one, fantastic location. And apart from that, the luxurious, architecture and accompanied with the smart home facilities for this entire project lah. And it's very, very close proximity to, tourist expect spots like Clarke Quay, Boat Quay, and it's also very near CBD. So I believe that this project will be of very great demand in the future in terms of rental and of course capital appreciation as well lah. Because this project itself, how many new launches do you actually see? I'm not being biased right here, but how many new launches do you actually see appearing in newspapers or local newspapers, right? Yeah, so it will be widely reached out to foreigners, and statistics have shown that we have foreigners purchasing Canninghill Piers virtually as well. So that is why that makes this project a very good investment. We personally feel that it's a very good investment.
Definitely.
Yeah. hopefully.
Okay, so the first reason is the location.
Yes.
So just to elaborate a bit more, the MRT is directly below since it's an integrated project.
Yes.
Okay, which links to a downtown line. And also, if you doesn't want to take downtown line, you can actually take a few minutes walk to the Clarke Quay station, which links to the Northeast line. Okay, and for people who doesn't want to take MRT, they can also drive, and which is near the highway, CTE and AYE.
Super convenient.
Yeah, it's super convenient. Yeah. So I think this makes a very good location. So the second one is actually the floor plan. It's regular shape, squarish, and there's privacy when you actually open up the main door. You won't be able to see the unit straight away.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think it's a very good layout because it can be quite common for one bedder nowadays. Based on the URA map, this one is actually zoned as residential and commercial, and opposite is a greenery where the Fort Canninghill is. So I think it's very convenient because it's hard to find a project where it's integrated at the same time, and also there's a pub just opposite.
Yes, it makes it very rare.
Yeah.
Okay, so why I chose Canninghill Piers is because Beverly bought Canninghill Piers, so I want to be her neighbor. Yeah. Okay, but real reason why I chose Canninghill Piers is really because of its one-of-a-kind status. Right, I do believe Canninghill Piers to be an icon, right? Not just of Clarke Quay, but of Singapore as well. Because like subsequently, tourists coming in, foreigners coming in, they will know of Canninghill Piers.
Yes.
So this actually fits the factor that I mentioned earlier, desirability. Right, this is one project that many people will know of its existence out there. And also because it's jointly developed by two very renowned developers, Capital Land and CDL.
Yep.
Right, so this really makes a project good, right? Because its end quality is assured. Right, this is one thing that I can say about Canninghill Piers there as well. Of course, location and all, right? I feel it's just an icon on its own. Yep.
Well, the reason I chose Canninghill Piers was because it offers something very special.
Yep.
It's standing alone in a location where, if you look around it, there are no direct competitors to it. If you look at the other condos around the area, they are generally older. And so you have a unique icon popping out in the middle of this Clarke Quay area and right on top of the station. So that was a huge plus point for me. And also I've been a fan of the Biatch Ingo Group. And looking at the design that they have done for this building, it's something that I fell in love almost immediately when I first saw it. And so one of the other thing is, I'm not sure about you guys but when I was a teenager, we used to party a lot around this Clarke Quay area. So
brings back fond memories.
Yes, it does. So seeing how some people, they can party and, having a place in the middle of this area, they can just like walk home. They don't have to worry about, getting a cab. They don't have to worry about the, what's that thing called, like the midnight rates for taxis? Surcharge, that's right. So I think having this experience, I believe there will be many people who seek like a similar kind of lifestyle. And so this would be, I think, a huge draw, whether it is for potential renters or future buyers.
Yeah.
It has that element of desirability. Yeah.
So I believe this development is sort of like an all-rounder kind of thing. It includes, shopping mall, that MRT directly below, and then a hotel and a service apartment, and then it checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
I just want to add on, like future neighbours at Canninghill Piers, upon TOP, if you need some agents to help you find a new tenant, we are the one to go to.
Ding, ding, ding. So after TOP and Key Collection, do you all have any plans?
Of course, we're going to party right here at
TJ's
TJ's house.
I think TJ plans to move in for the first month and enjoy the property first.
Why do we need Zoop when we have TJ's house?
Now we've come to the end of our video. So if you are watching us on YouTube, please click like and subscribe and share the video. And we also will have our socials up on the screen. Please also follow us on our socials. Yep. So that is all for today. Thank you for joining us for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.